Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial video. In the previous 3 videos, we have talked about getting the credentials for Google Drive API, and we have also talked about how to upload the files. And now in this video, I wanted to talk about how to download the files. So what I want us to do inside this same welcome page is where I want us to have a Bootstrap table. So you just go to bootstrap.com. Whatever it is that you're using here is just okay. If you're using Bootstrap, if you are using something else, it's just okay. So I will copy this table, and then we will come and place it somewhere inside our code. So you scroll downwards all the way to where we have welcome.play.php, and inside here, after the button, maybe inside the card body, still we can have the table. So maybe I can have h1 here, and we can say file downloads, like that. And below here I want to paste in our table, and then we can close the table body and also close the table tag, like that. And so it means if we are to refresh, then we have our table looking like that. And what I want us to pass to our table is there are several things. So the first thing is the loop number, and then the name of the file. And then of course, after that, what we need is just the action, which in this case will be a button for us to download the file. So basically that is what you're going to have. And here, inside here, for the first one, we can just have the loop index, like that. And then here we can have a file name. And then here we can have a button, which would be a download button. I will just call it download. In fact, I'm going to change it to a link. So let's just change it into an anchor tag, and we can have href, and then we can say we want to go to files, and then we can pass in the file ID, like that. So when we click it, it will go to the show method of that Google Drive controller. So basically that is what is going to happen. And maybe it's also possible to give it a class, so we can give it some styling. So class btn primary, btn small. And so just to check if everything looks nice, is something that I have not picked out. Maybe I can just remove it as it loads. In fact, actually we have an issue because we have not picked the files. So let me just go ahead and first of all finish up. So I remove this. Then after all, we are looping through files. So in this, we can cover the table row with for each loop. So for each files as file, and then we can have at end for each, like that. And remember, we are not passing in the files inside our welcome.blade as of now. So let us go and do that. So here I can be able to, inside the route, we can be able to pass in files. We can get the file model. So file, we can say all. So all the files, we want to pass them in here. Just a simple thing. And here we can either compact, or we can just say with files, and then pass in the file variable, like that. So basically that will be able to pass the file model to our view. And then here we can say use app models user, just to, file should be capital, file, like that. And that you pull in the files. So I can now comfortably attempt and refresh. And so basically we are having our files, and the file name is not file name, it's something else. So let me correct that. So we can go back to our welcome.plate, and what I need to have here is file underscore name, because that is how we have saved it in our database. So let me just open phpMyAdmin. We check the database, we see how whatever it is that you're referring to. So if I open Google Drive and we go to files, these are the fields that we have. So we have the file name and the file ID. But I also want the other, that is the name, the original name of the file. I will also be saving it here. So we are just going to add it in a short while. But before we do that, let's just refresh and see what is happening, if we can be able to pull the names of the files. Yes, we are able to do that. And also if we click download, is it hitting that endpoint? Maybe we can check after a while. First of all, let me first of all just have it like that. So another thing that we are going to do is that for the loop index, it's loop index +1. Or just loop index like that, loop index +1, that will give us the correct numbering of the files as we have them here. So now you can see everything looks fine. Now for us to be able to download this file, the next thing I want us to do is to include one more field in our database fields. So I do not mind clearing everything, so maybe you can just go to database migrations, and then we can go to the files migration, and I want to, and here there is nothing. Okay, I think we need to have table. The first thing is string, and we have file underscore name, and then we have the other one, which is a file ID, and then lastly we need just name like that. So I'm going to run a command that will be able to replace that table in our database, and then we can be able to continue like that. So let us go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is to run php artisan migrate fresh. It will drop all the tables and bring all of them up again. And now we do not have any files. So in our downloads, there's nothing because we have cleared out everything. So I want us to go back to our controller method for uploading the files that we did talk about in our previous video. And here we had when we were saving our file, we had something we commented out, which is upload file name. So the field that I've added, which is name, and we can pass in the name of our file. In this case, the name of our file is what we were having as the client original name. So this is the file name as it is uploaded like that. So if I'm to save and we try to upload a file, let me see what is going to happen. So if I refresh, we can name one of our files, maybe my document, and then we can choose the file. I can pick maybe a PDF document like this one here. Do not know what it is, by the way. We just pick and upload and then submit. Now you can see it's uploaded to Drive. Maybe we could just, instead of returning uploaded to Drive, we can be able to refresh. So our file is already in Google Drive. So let us work on how to download. And in this case, we are going to work with the show method of our controller, because basically that is how we are handling it here. Because when you look at it from this place, when you look at it from our welcome.plate, you can see the button is going to files, then file ID. That is the URL. So that one is the show method. So that's the one that I want us to use to sort of download the file. I would like us to go to that controller, in this case our Google Drive controller. So I open it, and inside here we have the show method, and what we are having is that we are passing in the file like this using dependency injection. So you're passing in the file like that, and now we can be able to go ahead and work on how to download the file. And what I'm going to do, basically, I will download the file from Google Drive, save it temporarily in the storage folder, and then after saving it temporarily in one of the storage folders, which I'm going to have it in my local machine, after that then we download it. So at the end of everything, there's a scenario that I've not been able to cover, which is cleaning up that folder time after time. After several downloads have been done, you can clean it. Or else you can be able to just put a script inside this show method that will be able to assist you to clean that folder every single time. But because we are not going to talk about that in this video, let us just go ahead and just talk about whatever it is that we need to. So I'm going to check for the extension of the file. When we look at our database now, if I'm to refresh, now we are having the name of the file. So you can see the name as report43.pdf. So the extension, this .pdf, is what I'm interested in getting. So how can I be able to get it? We can be able to just save it in a variable called extension, and we can do path info, and then we can pass in our file name, because this is the field that actually has the whole file name as it was uploaded. And then what we can be able to get from it is something that is called path info underscore extension. And I would like to check if that is being gotten correctly. So we can say dd, and I can pass in ext, that variable that we have above there. And then we can go back to our file upload and just attempt to download, because that you hit that method, and you can see it's giving us that the extension is PDF of the current file that we have, and that is very true. After that, we also need to have the access token. So we can just say access token will be given by this. And I think we have a method above, which is the method that gets the token for us. And maybe I can just scroll and show you. And just to mention, there are several videos in this series. You can be able to watch them from the beginning, such that you'll be able to have all the input. So here is a token method, which is generating the token for us. So once I just call the token method like that, then we will have our access token. And then after that, then we can be able to do the request. So in this case, I can just say response, and we can have HTTP with headers like that. And inside here, we can be able to have, so we are using the HTTP client. And so inside we can have the authorization. In this one, we are actually using bearer tokens. So bearer, and then some space, and then we concatenate the access token. I believe it is properly typed in, yes. And then after that, we can be able to do a get method, and we are hitting the endpoint Google APIs. So HTTPS www.googleapis.com/drive /version 3 /files, and then in this case we can be able to pass in the file ID. Remember, there is an ID of the file that we are saving in our database, which is actually the file ID that is assigned to our file when it is uploaded to Google Drive. So this actually comes from Google Drive. So that is what I'm going to pass in here. So our file ID I'm going to just pass it in like this. So here we can be able to have file, then file ID, because that is how I've saved it in the database. And then of course, after that, we can be able to have question mark, and then we can say alt is equals to media. Maybe because of many things that we have here, let us just have the URL in double quotes, and then I think that will be it. After that, then we can be able to check whether the response is successful in a similar fashion. And this is basically just how HTTP, the Laravel HTTP client works. So here we can say if response, and then we say successful. If the response is successful, then we can be able to process and save our file inside the storage folder. So in this case, I want us to have the file path. So file path like that. And I want it to be in a folder called downloads. After that, we can concatenate the name in which we want the file to be called. So we can say file underscore name. And this, remember, is the name which you called your file when you're uploading. So in this case, this one, I called it my document. So when we download it, it will come with my document. So in this case, we can avoid the file names being ambiguous by doing so. So we have file name, and then we can concatenate the extension. So in this case, we can have the full stop like that, and then concatenate the extension. So ext. After that, we can then use storage put, and then inside here we can pass in the file path. File path, it's supposed to be capital for the value of p, and then we can have response body, and then after that, then we can go ahead and, so this one, you actually save our file inside a folder called downloads. And then after that, we can be able to just download it. So I can say return storage download, and then we can pass in our file path. So basically, that is all we need to do for us to be able to download the files. If everything is okay, then our code will work perfectly. But we still need to import the storage facade. So let me just scroll above here. Oh, it's already imported. So eliminate support facades storage. If you haven't, please ensure you import it. Otherwise, it might be a reason why you might have an error. So I want us to go ahead and attempt to see if we can actually be able to download a file. So let me refresh and then click download on my document. And we are having the headers with headers. Yes, there's a typo. There's a typo. It's supposed to be with headers. I have typed with corresponding. So let us try again. And you can see we have undefined method response successful. Have I mistyped that one? Let me just copy what we have above here, because there's somewhere we were checking if the response is successful. Yes, I think I missed one S. Now you save it like that, and then try to refresh again. And now you can see we have our document downloaded. So in this case, even if I'm to add another file, so we can say my picture. Sorry. If we can call a file my picture, and then we upload, maybe we just pick this one here, and then we submit. the file is uploaded. If we come back and refresh, now we have my picture. If I attempt to click download, and again, you can see that picture has been downloaded. Whatever it is that we uploaded, it has been downloaded and we are able to view it. Thank you very much for following this tutorial video up until this point. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new in this channel, please consider leaving a subscription. Thank you very much.